All right, everyone. I think we're going to get started here with the presentation. I've got, this is recording, so if you don't want anything to, don't say anything that you don't want to be recorded. We'll be sharing this with members who've registered and anybody else who's interested in seeing our annual meeting. So let me Okay, so welcome everybody, welcome members to our 14th annual meeting. My name is Katarina. I am the Market Board President, and we've got some of our board members on today. So we're just going to get started. I'm going to give you a brief overview of what the next 3 days are going to look like, all via Zoom. We will have, today will just about an hour, maybe less. We're going to talk about the state of the market, and we'll elect our board members and have a unveiling of a brand new video, YouTube video that has been created for Lost River Market. So that's very exciting. Tomorrow from 6 to 7, and again, that might not be a full hour, we'll do a deeper dive into financials. And then on Tuesday, the same time, we'll have a focus on our programs, things that we've done last year, as well as current programs that are going on now and into the future. Today, we will start by connecting to our mission, do an overview of an annual report, talk a little bit about the pandemic and our second year in the black financially, partnerships, our local farmers, board member elections, and then finally the Lost River video. So I wanted to connect to our co-op mission. Most people know that we're a grocery store, but there's a mission to being a cooperative grocery store. We are member-owned association dedicated to serving the needs of our local growers, producers, and consumers by providing goods, services, and healthy food choices at a fair value. We promote community well-being, economic prosperity, and self-reliance through cooperation. And I wanted to connect to that today by talking about how Lost River has been creating access to healthy local food and building a greater capacity for growing local food, as well as processing local food. We have, as a market and the board, have been allocating resources this past year into that second part of the mission, where we're promoting community well-being, economic prosperity, and self-reliance. And I think that's something that has shifted, particularly in the past year, rather than previous years. It started, the catalyst really was the community supported agriculture boxes. And when that started, it wasn't, the intention of it was not to, let's just go out and start promoting our well-being. It was, how do we bring in more revenue? How do we compete with other grocery stores, other people who are trying to do CSAs? We saw some young farmers doing CSAs and not doing very well with them because they were they didn't have their own capacity to really be successful with that. And then we know there are some successful CSAs out there that we also wanted to, have a stake in. We already had an Amish run, so we started to aggregate those local farmers, local produce, and put them together in boxes. And that has really been the first kind of driver into taking us into this new direction that we'll talk about today and that you'll hear about in the next couple days. Additionally, so farm to table dinners, community boxes, artisan boxes, all of these things have created access for producers. Economic prosperity, we're looking at people who are able to start making a living or making their own income through adding value to food. So when you could add value, it increases both their livelihood and the ability to boost up the economy. So quick annual report. We had 38 new members last year, and that is a pretty consistent number. It's been, I'd say it's been consistently growing. I believe we're over 12,000, over 12,000 members currently. This is the exciting number of 2020. So the end of year net income in 2020 was $66,126 is a positive number. And in 2019, that same number was, the net income was negative $143,154 in 2019. So we will do a deep dive into the financials of last year tomorrow, but just to give you an understanding of how that happened, it really all came down to other income. So it wasn't like we just had a banner year of selling groceries, which we did, but there was grant revenue, there was partnered projects, and other components that were added into our finances that helped us get out of that negative number. At the beginning of 2020, there was a lot of concern about our finances, and we really saw that change throughout the year. So it's very exciting to be here saying, you know, we've made it through, we've adapted, and we've overcome a lot of struggles. So we will see through some of those programs. So there were 54 nutrition prescription boxes that were given out to participants in 2020, 37 CSA boxes, that is double the amount from 2019, 39 community boxes that included nutrition and cooking education. That was all online, and it was provided by both staff from the Lost River Market and volunteers from the community. They actually did the videos, which is a really huge undertaking to, you know, you're setting up not just actually doing the video, but editing it and then sharing that with the participants. So kudos to those that did that. We had 18 artisan boxes, which was a new pilot program in the fall. And those artisans boxes brought in, actually we paid out about $4,500 to local chefs, both in the artisan boxes and in the farm to table dinners in the past year. So that's $4,500 that was given to people who are acting as entrepreneurs and, you know, supporting the food culture of the community. Both in the spring and the fall, like around the holiday season, we had $4,000 donated that was provided to the Bag of Basics program, which offers free food to individuals. And we partnered with Love Never Fails Church for some donations sent over there as well. $17,000 was purchased from local it was $17,000 of purchasing for local growers. So Lost River actually spent that amount of money giving that to the local farmers in the community. That number has quadrupled from 2019. So we were looking at $4,000 that was spent on local produce, and we've really boosted that up. That number has allowed local produce from 7 core farmers, but there's about 20 relationships total, to have local produce all year long, which is a huge change. That was not the case before 2020. So just some highlights from the pandemic. There was changing in cleaning practices, mask wearing, social distancing. There was a a plan in place for managers that if any of the managers got sick or anybody in any of the staff got sick, there was a plan in place and how to make keep the store open, or eventually, if it was needed, close the store down if it had to be. But nobody is not, let's cross our fingers here. We're still in the pandemic, but nobody was sick in 2020. No staff members got COVID, which is huge. I mean, I don't, I don't know if many businesses can say that. And there are a lot of factors that come into that, but I'm just really proud of staff for protecting themselves and then protecting customers. So there was a couple people who had to quarantine throughout the year, but no one actually was really exposed and affected. The store began to deliver to people at their homes. So then they did parking lot pickup. So both of those changes, I think, really helped the mindset for people to be able to feel comfortable going out, getting their food here, or having it delivered to their home. That happened almost immediately once the quarantine set in. And then the Bag of Basics program really, did really well in terms of being able to provide food to people who needed it. So really, our community rallies together for those who are underserved, vulnerable, needing food access, and the fact that we were able to give it is really incredible. One of the biggest challenges that the market saw was in the deli. So we couldn't do eating inside. That changed the lunchtime flow completely. There was no longer the revenue from the lunchtime people who came in. A lot of times they weren't big shoppers, but they were people that consistently came for lunch. And then catering, there was no more catering for pretty much the whole year. Maybe there was some kind of late in the year, but no gatherings, no people needed to, I mean, as someone who is, working for an organization where we had a lot of meetings where people got together, Lost River was a key provider of that food, and all of those went away. So one of the things that the deli did was to make up that lost revenue was to really try to think outside the box, and they partnered with like produce, and they developed the winter subscription box, which was the Artisan Box program. That was the beginning series, and it became really popular. We had 18 people who participated in that first program, and that provided 10 weeks of locally produced items. So that included soup from the deli, fresh bread, sauces, and preserved goods that were made by local chefs and artisans. So this is kind of the biggest news. In 2020, the member owners forgave $50,000 of their member loans. So member loans have been part of the market since the very beginning. And in the last few years, we had started to pay them back there's a few different options for those. They could be extended. You can get your money back through groceries, or you could get cash, or you could shift it into a sustaining membership. But the forgiveness of that $50,000 allowed us to participate in a pilot program that the regional cooperative group brought up to us. It was a pilot program through CoBank Equity, and or CoBank had an equity match. So that $50,000 became equity, and then we were able to receive $48,000 in matching grant dollars that came in as revenue for us. So that is just one of the, the biggest reasons why members are so important, being able to have that generosity and forgiving member loans, we would not have been able to bring in revenue like that otherwise. Additionally, Lost River received other income from programs like the payroll protection program that helped us keep staff working through the quarantine and through the pandemic. We received disaster relief loans from the Small Business Association. We received grants from the Orange County Economic Development Partnership and from Orange County Community Foundation and Indiana University Center for Rural Engagement. We also received substantial donations from our member owners. We had increases in our sustaining member program, and all of those adds to the other income that has brought us up to the second year. There's only been 1 year previously where there was a positive net income, and this is something to definitely celebrate. Just to touch on some of the partnerships, this was, to me, the partnerships are so crucial, especially when you start working in grants and developing programs. The IU Center for Rural Engagement was a really key partner, especially in the planning of a lot of those projects. And then, of course, the funding and implementation of some of the programs as well. But they worked with us on developing the community nutrition program, which was another partnership with Southern Indiana Community Healthcare. SICHC, they recruited patients who were had diabetes or pre-diabetic, and they were able to participate in a 12-week program. On Tuesday, we're going to go into more detail about those programs, so just kind of give you a taste of it right now, but that has been a very successful program where we've developed local data, we've created relationships where people are eating together, sharing food together, and sharing the recipes, all through kind of virtual online platforms. The Orange County Health Coalition has been in the community for a while, where they have a community health improvement plan that includes nutrition and fostering an environment where people choose healthy foods. So the work that Lost River is doing has been an integral part to moving forward in that community health improvement plan for the Health Coalition. Now, the Orange County Community Foundation has been a huge supporter this year. They're always a huge supporter of whatever's going on in our community, but they funded getting us a new freezer, a walk-in freezer. They started the community kitchen over at the First Presbyterian Church, and they've helped support the community boxes. And then Purdue Extension has been a player with our farmers in creating programming, safety education programming, so that we are purchasing and selling products that are up to high standards of safety that is required by the state and what we want to be putting out for our customers and our consumers. Our local farmers have been, this relationship has been, or the relationship development of this has been really cool. Watching this happen over the last year and even the previous year. But Pat Hall was our coordinator with the Amish farmers and just all the farmers. He has about 20 families, Amish families, plus 5 of those are primary vendors, and also some English or non-Amish farmers. And he worked with Purdue Extension on the food safety training manual, as well as providing free groundwater screenings and one-on-one training sessions. And then he also fostered the relationships with some local restaurants. And he provides local produce to them every month. So we were able to purchase 5 times as much local produce than we did the previous year. And we were able to fill double as many community supported agriculture boxes from 2019. So we're going to get into the section of our board election. But before that, I wanted to make a big thank you for service to both Ted Larison and Brad Pickens. Ted has been on the board for 9 years. That is three terms. Each term is 3 years, and that's a big portion of the history of the market. So he's really been a very consistent and important player for us. And Brad has really led the market out through a lot of struggles over the last few years. He moved up to Michigan, and you can see he's in the snow with his kids. And we just, his leadership through so much of that was so important. And I just wanted to make sure that our gratitude is really given out to both of these men for the work that they've provided for the community and for the market. And then we're going to get into the election. So I'm going to allow Ted to talk. TED Talk.
Okay. Thank you, Katarina. It's exciting to have some new members coming onto the board, and you can see the photos of this group. And I don't know how many of the board members are here with us. If we were in a public meeting, we'd say, would all of you please raise your hand and then stand? And then we could see their belt buckles. But just these are some folks that we know very well. Many of you know Colin because he works in the market, and he is we're wanting to have him return for another term. And the other board members that will be new and coming on, we have 4. Chris Terrell, who is a landlord of many rental homes in Orleans. He is a builder, so he's also does his construction business, and we will appreciate his business background that he brings. Sarah Ann Weeks is a well-known person in our community who owned and managed a restaurant for a while, has been involved with school system, has been a community leader for quite a number of years. And she will be a good contributor to the organization as she continues to be involved in the community. Amy Heidenreich works for the Cooperative Extension Service, the Purdue Extension, and is involved with community agriculture. And so we're happy that she has already been involved with the market with Lost River and partnering for reaching out and training producers. And the fourth new member, Sandra Hatton, is from West Baden Springs. She's has had a career in marketing and will be able to use her creativity to help the market and the board think perhaps in some new ways about meeting our mission. She has other experience serving on boards in the community and both healthcare and marketing. So these are the members that are joining the board of directors, and we're very, very happy to be welcoming them.
Thanks, Ted. So we have officially received 54 ballots electing these five board members to the board for 2021. And in terms our stipulations, we have to have 45, which has been determined by our bylaws. So we've completely gone through, we've achieved that. And so we're very excited, like Ted said, to be bringing these new members on and seeing what their with their interests and their specialties have to bring to the board. So we will see in 2021, this is a slide with all of your 2021 board members. So that includes Bob Turner, Howard Detweiler, Jacob Simpson, Jim Huddleston, Colin Spear, Abby Heinreich, Sarah Ann Weeks, Pat Hall, Chris Terrell, and Sandra Hatton, and then myself, Katarina Kaw. So if you guys see us, you can harass us a little bit if you need to. Okay, so coming up with, this is the big climax of the evening. We're gonna see the store video that it was filmed by Dwayne Busick. He's a former Orange County resident, and he also did a video for the Orange County Homegrown Farmers Market. So you might have seen some of his work there. I'm going to change over and share the video here. So this is a 15-minute video. It is really exciting to be sharing it. Afterwards, you're welcome to stay on. We've got a final slide that'll just kind of brief on tomorrow's session at 6 o'clock, and then I'll open up our mics. We can all come off our mics and have any kind of conversations or questions that you want to bring up after the video.
You never know what's going to happen in the grocery store. What can I say after since salami? What kind of food comes in a tube salami? This kind of meat that always wants to be with you. If somebody asks, I know you say I do.
This place, you could call it a grocery store, but it's so much more than a grocery store. I mean, there's so many activities that they try to do with people.
The very first thing comes to mind is a sense of community, providing community service, building community.
Supports the community and local farmers, and it's just a nice place to be, like friends.
There's a vibrancy to this place, to the people who work here.
The people here are just wonderful.
It's great to be able to support locally, especially for the times that we've been through.
They're very friendly, the staff. They're just so easy to work with. Anything you want, they try and get.
It's a great feel-good environment. You feel very part of the community when you're here.
They have good produce and meat, and I like their bagels.
They have really good cinnamon sugar bagels.
Lost River Market is a great resource and outlet for local growers and producers to sell their goods, to have a place to gather and have a lot of community.
It's a wonderful place to sit and have lunch. It's a very relaxed atmosphere. It's just, I think it's a wonderful establishment.
I think a lot of times it's overlooked for what an amazing deli it is and what an amazing place you can go and just go sit down, what a good time you can have. There's a lot of people who come in and out.
We think that our little store is making a big difference.
It's a good store to go to.
Mother meat sticks made me air dried or salt fried and cured. But what can I say after salami?
Well, we finally made it to Paola.
Over the last year, Lost River Market has been working on what we're calling our Orange County Farm to Health program.
And it all began in October of 2018 when Lilly Endowment announced the Gift 7 initiative. We began work with Lost River Deli and Market on the implementation phase, which included a $100,000 grant opportunity. This involved food insecurities, farmers and growers education, preparation and preservation, creation of community boxes, nutrition prescription boxes, artisan boxes, food gift boxes, and many more. We offered the funding to provide the equipment that is needed for a community kitchen that would offer Safe Serve certification, various trainings such as Cooking Matters. It's amazing how it's been used already and how it's benefiting artisans of their abilities and their talents to create good produce and product, and now to have the opportunity to have it for sale.
They got all of these squash and pumpkins donated from the community gardens, and then they had free pies around Thanksgiving for people. They made like 100 pies. Where else does that happen that they have that available?
Community dinners were also a component to highlight local chefs' talents, with 2 dinners already taking place last year, and we have plans for 3 to take place this summer.
We take local produce and local chefs, and we put on a meal at somebody's place or business or outdoors. The harvest one we did on the Orleans Town Square. We just set up lights and it was beautiful, and we had all local produce and local chefs, and it's a lot of work, but it's so rewarding.
The farm-to-table dinners are, typically something we read about that is happening somewhere else, not right in our own backyard. Provided by people who we know, some wonderful dinners, socialization, camaraderie.
Our Artisan Chef's Box program is a higher-end product that includes prepared foods every week, prepared soups, prepared salads, artisan breads, and then canned items, preserves and jams made by Anna Huddleston.
I don't know how many times I've said to somebody how cool this program is. I've never seen anything like it done anywhere else. It's like having a restaurant in my kitchen when I bring home my lovely canvas bag with things in it made by people I know.
The Farm to Kitchen Dinner Kit is a convenience box that provides participants with everything that they need to cook healthy meals at home. It will include local items, but it's targeted towards convenience and making meals easy for parents, couples, whoever needs that. Community Supported Agriculture Program is a produce-only box, and for 20 weeks throughout the summer, participants receive a box of produce, all 100% locally sourced. Participants also have the option to add in specialty items, and this year we're going to do an egg add-on to where people can get a dozen or more eggs every week as well with that box.
Some of the produce in the CSA boxes have been grown by our Amish neighbors.
About 4 years ago, we established a produce route up through the Amish territory. We'd go from maybe buying a couple of $100 worth or so to okay, if we have this good source of produce, how can we continue to market in different ways? And so we began with the CSA, Community Supported Agricultural Boxes.
Well, we have approximately 30 Amish farmers and probably 10 English farmers that we buy off of every week during the season, and I still have probably 6 or 7 different people that I buy off all winter.
Produce safety is something that is a very high priority in Indiana when it comes to food safety and food consumption. But one of the things that's often overlooked is Amish growers. We're working with them first to really get them on board and to make sure that everyone who sells produce through Lost River Market is fully trained and aware of all the produce safety requirements that are in place.
I did the CSA about 2 years ago in the fall. That was really great. I shared that with my mother. The produce that we got, I was able to try some new things that I didn't think that I would have ever tried if they hadn't been in my box, honestly.
The benefit of all of this is that we've got our list of farmers and we're buying what they provide us, and there's more farmers and there's more produce. I have no idea where this will end. The entire process is operating on a basis of plenty, of enough, of abundance. We doubled what we purchased last year from the year before, and yet there was never a day that we didn't have what we needed from somewhere. It's just there. This is a very fertile area for growing what is being grown.
Our community nutrition program is a 6-week program that teaches participants about cooking and nutrition. It teaches them how to shop for healthy items on a budget, how to begin cooking at home, how to make educated decisions when they're shopping at the store.
That was great to get different recipes of incorporating more fruits and nutritious things into my diet. Like, for instance, there was a chili recipe that had added carrots to it, and that was something that was different that I had never thought to add, and just added more nutrition. And also it had turkey as the main ingredient, and I would normally use beef.
A good health care, good cooking, good produce, healthy nutrition is the basis of how important this program is and how we can change lives through proper nutrition.
What you put into your body affects your brain, your mental health too. So there's a huge connection between that. And I feel like when we eat better, we feel better mentally and physically.
As a physician, I repeatedly tell those who come to me as patients about the benefits of nutrition and exercise. But just talking about healthy eating is not enough for a patient seeing me to get it fully. And so I've promoted the Lost River as a place to come to join others here to buy healthy food and eat healthy food. If we can get people together looking at healthy food, preparing healthy food at home, and then sharing that experience, and they can do that online with their Garden to Health program, that's how I think we can more effectively promote transformation of eating and at the same time see your health improve.
Southern Indiana Community Healthcare worked with Lost River Market and Deli to develop a nutrition prescription program, and they had a research component with Indiana University. One thing that's really important for healthcare is that we have accurate data that really reflects our population, and it's really hard to find that out in public data sources. So we now have some baseline data for food literacy, food access, people who may need financial support in getting food.
This year, the year of COVID and the pandemic, we had different challenges, and like some of the other stores, very quickly we knew we had to deliver food, we had to provide pickup, quick pickup, so many of our consumers used that.
I called Lost River and they made a delivery, And then after that, they said they would come out curbside. I could just open the hatch. They would bring the food out, put it in my car. I'd shut the car and drive off. So convenient, so nice to be able to do that. And I so appreciated it. So then I thought, well, that's silly. I need to become a member. And from there, it just grew. My liking the place and the services that they provide, and there are many.
Community Kitchen, that is a partnership with the Orange County Community Foundation and Lost River and the Presbyterian Church and the Artisan Boxes. They're all programs that are creating added value to the economy, local people who live here and spend their money here in this community. We're driving entrepreneurs to be creative, to have the resources to be able to make their livelihoods living in a rural community where resources usually aren't as accessible.
Lost River Market supports our local farmers and a big part of our community. And the money that's made here is invested back into our community. It's just been a great asset to the community, and we're proud to be members.
I said I thought I raised you better than that. Okay. Thanks, sir. Have a good day now.
My favorite part of the store is probably how connected it makes the community here. It brings a variety of people in and allows people to connect through things like food and produce.
I can come here and I can buy the beets and the carrots and the turnips that I can't grow well in my garden.
Rhubarb, you know, you can't find rhubarb anywhere else but here. Golden beets have been a huge thing for me. And so when I found out they had them here, I just bought some last week and then the week before, and there's different ways you can fix them. And so like, I never would have experienced that from any other place. You know, we have the bulk section, which is huge. If you need a little bit of spice for a certain dish, you can just get it what you need instead of buying a whole package for it, and then just the freshness of the bulk. I don't know that everybody knows that, you know, hey, it's cheaper to buy it that way. Just come in and just walk around and see what they have to offer, because, you know, they've got vitamins and supplements, and it's fine just to come in and browse and just, you know, ask questions and, you know, try the things for lunch. That would be a good start. Come in for lunch and then, you know, just see what they have. Browse, sit and eat, and just come in and look.
We love the kitchen, the sandwiches, the salads, just so fresh, so good.
Everything's wonderful, you know, fresh, because they have such wonderful soups. I've become a soup snob, I would say.
Everything from music to dinners, poetry readings, guest speakers, the food programs. That's the wonder and joy of this, when people come together with a shared purpose of creating something, anything is possible.
It's far more than a market. It is a community of people who value the environment in which they live and want to do what they can to honor it. Here is where the people come together, to shop together, to take food home and prepare in healthy ways. It's more than just where you buy food. It's part of a community of people who value their world in a way that we regard it as part of the sacred.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. We'll open up our mics here in just a minute, but thank you for being here tonight. or this afternoon. And for anyone who's going to be on the next couple days, we will be having a basket available for people anybody who's in attendance will get a ticket to have a drawing for that basket. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. We'll be using the same Zoom link, and again, the same Zoom link on Tuesday. So I hope you guys can join us. And I'll stop sharing my screen. And if there's anybody who wants to unmute and ask some questions or, make a comment, you're welcome to.
I'll just say thank you so much. This was really wonderful and informative. It's nice to hear the market's doing well, and I miss being on the board, but it's good to have the scoop now.
Thanks, Delilah.
Yeah, likewise in Delilah's comments. I'm having worked with other community efforts and boards, just aware that it's so much time in the background that most of us just pass over and don't take time to acknowledge and say thank you. It's really appreciate the report today, your leadership, Katarina. The video was fantastic. And speaking of, I just need to give a shout out Debbie's presence in that store, and as well as all the staff. But I think Debbie centers that place in so many ways that we maybe I haven't acknowledged, and just want to thanks for this time and report.
Want to see how many people.
Thanks, Phil.
Glenda Murray. Lonnie.
I just want to add, I'm kind of, so my first Zoom meeting with actually the first, I probably haven't met, this is the first time I've probably met any of you. Just want to thank you guys for, I think it's great that there's a co-op down here. So I think it's really kind of adds to the character of Paoli. So anyway, just thanks.
Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you being here. Well, oh, go ahead, Gail. Yep.
I just wanted to say how much I enjoyed the video. It was wonderful. And the music and everything. And the meeting, I enjoyed it too. I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for everything.
You're welcome.
Gail, this is Debbie, and I just want you to know that's my 4th time watching, and I think I'm going to watch it every day.
I don't blame you, Debbie. It's really, really well done. Shows the flavor of, to use a double word there, the flavor of the store.
And we'll put that video is on YouTube, so we'll put that out on Facebook, and anybody can have access to it and watch it as many times as they want.
Okay.
Well, it was nice to be able to see Larry Owen again.
Yes.
And first, I appreciated the comments that Carol Anderson made, well, everyone. I mean, he did a fantastic job of editing the interviews, and so that the comments tied together, with the content was there. It is an excellent video.
I will just add yet, I don't think, this is 14 years. I don't think we could have been doing this or talking about this or having at all the same experience. We're at 5 years, maybe even 10 years, but this has been a long commitment in the same direction together. That has been worth every year and every effort. Yeah.
Agree.
Frames on a tree.
What was that?
I didn't realize it was a CASA box.
Who wrote it?
We'll send the link for the new CSA. Can you put your email in the chat and we can make sure we get that sent to you?
Sure.
This is Lonnie. I may not be able to make it tomorrow evening. Will these be available, a recording be available to watch later?
Yeah, all of the presentations will be recorded and we will send them out to everyone who's registered, but also anyone who hasn't registered can get access to them as well.
Brandon, did you get a complete roster of those who were online with us?
Believe so. I'm not sure who Galaxy S9 Plus is, and then there was somebody that was in with just their phone number that I wasn't sure on, but I think everybody else has their name on their account here.
Well, we can check with Galaxy 5 or S9. Ask them to identify themselves.
I don't know if they're on a phone or maybe it's somebody else's like iPad. You know, some people have come up twice because of that, but yeah.
Okay.
Anything else you guys want to bring up? We got 5 minutes to 3, so if not, we can close out just with again gratitude for you all being here and for, of course, keeping the market going for the last 14 years and supporting it and each other as we go forward. So hope to see you guys this week and a couple more things.
Bye.
Bye.
I saw like 18 was a number, so they've already gone off, but there was a 10, and